The forest was quiet that night, wrapped in silver moonlight and the scent of pine. The Alpha King's hall stood tall against the sky, its torches flickering faintly, its walls holding the sleeping heart of the pack. Wolves rested in their dens, their howls fading into the distance, and all seemed peaceful. But Elira did not sleep. The human girl sat alone outside her hut, a cloak wrapped around her shoulders, her golden braids shining faintly in the firelight. She was not a wolf, not of noble blood, just the girl the pack had taken in when she was a child, left to wander the woods alone. She lived quietly, mending clothes, gathering herbs, helping where she could. She never asked for more, and yet in her heart, she longed for something beyond survival, a place where she truly belonged. Her gaze drifted toward the Alpha King's hall. Inside, his Luna slept peacefully, and beside her, wrapped in furs, lay two small pups, the heirs of the kingdom. Elira had cared for them often, cradling them in her arms, humming lullabies to soothe their cries. To her, they were not just royal pups. They were souls who trusted her, tiny hearts that beat in rhythm against her chest. It was a bond no one else noticed, but she felt it with every breath. A sudden crack broke the stillness. At first, she thought it was only the wind, but then the smell reached her, sharp, choking smoke. Her eyes snapped toward the Alpha's hall. Flames were crawling along its wooden walls, climbing fast, feeding on the dry timber. Elira's heart lurched. Shouts rang out across the courtyard as wolves woke in alarm, racing to gather water, to form lines, to fight the fire. But Elira's mind held only one thought. The pups. They were inside. Without hesitation, she ran. Sparks stung her skin. Smoke clawed her throat, but she pushed forward. The doorway was a wall of heat, and for a moment fear seized her. She was human, fragile, no match for fire. But then she heard it. A faint whimper, and she plunged inside. The hall was a storm of flames. Smoke pressed down from the ceiling. Beams cracked and fell. Sparks rained like fiery ash. Elira's eyes burned, her lungs screamed, but she fought through, stumbling toward the small chamber where the pups were kept. She pushed the door open and saw them. Two small forms huddled together, their golden eyes wide with terror. Her heart broke. She rushed to them, dropping to her knees. "It's all right," she whispered, though her voice shook. She scooped them up, one in each arm, tucking them close against her chest. Their tiny bodies trembled, their cries soft and desperate. She wrapped her cloak around them, shielding them from the sparks. The way back was worse. The flames were everywhere now, devouring the hall. Her arms ached. Her breath tore from her chest, her skin seared where embers touched. But she did not stop. She clutched the pups tighter and pressed forward, guided by a single thought. They must live, even if I do not. At last, she burst through the doorway into the night. Cool air rushed over her, and she fell to her knees, coughing, trembling, clutching the pups against her body as though they were her own. The courtyard froze. Wolves stared, their howls dying into silence. The human girl had walked through fire and returned with the heirs alive in her arms. From the shadows, a tall figure emerged. The Alpha King. His presence silenced everything. His dark hair was wild, his broad shoulders cloaked in ash, his golden eyes burning with the fierce glow of his wolf. He strode toward her and knelt, his great hands reaching for the pups. They whimpered, wagged their tails weakly, licked his fingers. Alive. Safe. He looked at Elira then. Her face was streaked with soot, her dress torn, her skin blistered. Yet her grip on his children was strong, unyielding. She had risked her life for them. His voice was low, rough. "You went inside." Elira could only nod, her lips trembling. "You risked your life. For them?" "They needed me," she whispered. The words were simple, but they struck him deeper than any oath. The fire was eventually controlled, though the hall was scarred. The pups clung to Elira, refusing to let go. Even when the Luna gathered them in her arms, they squirmed and whimpered, reaching back toward the girl who had carried them through flames. The Luna's gratitude was soft, almost distant. She had slept through the danger. She had not heard their cries, but the Alpha King had seen everything. His gaze followed Elira wherever she went, fierce and unrelenting. Whispers spread through the pack. The human girl had saved the heirs. And the Alpha King could not look away from her. Days passed. Elira tried to fade back into her quiet tasks, but it was no longer possible. The Alpha walked beside her now, spoke to her, asked her thoughts. The pups curled against her each night, their small paws clutching her dress, their eyes following her every step. Elira told herself it was nothing. She was human, unworthy. a shadow compared to the Luna. Yet the truth pressed closer with every glance, every word, every heartbeat. The Alpha's eyes softened when he looked at her. His voice gentled, and something within her stirred. Longing, fear, hope. One night, beneath the full moon, the truth could no longer be held. The pups had fallen asleep between them, nestled against Elira's cloak. The forest was quiet, the silver light washing the clearing in calm. The Alpha King's gaze burned as he spoke. Elira. She looked up, startled. Yes, my lord? Not lord, not anymore. Her breath caught. He moved closer, his voice low, steady, heavy with meaning. I saw you that night. You walked through fire for my children. You held them when even wolves hesitated. You burned your skin, your breath for them. And when I saw you with them in your arms, I knew. They were not only mine, they were yours too, her heart pounded. I only did what was right. No. His voice deepened, fierce. You did what only a true mate would do. Her throat tightened. But I am human. I am nothing compared to your kind. Your Luna... She slept while my pups burned, he cut in, his words sharp but quiet. You woke. You acted. You gave them your whole heart. Tears filled her eyes, hot and aching. I do not belong. You belong with me. His hand lifted, brushing ash and hair from her face as if she were fragile and priceless all at once. His golden eyes locked onto hers. Elira, I call you my mate, not by tradition, not by politics, by truth. Her breath broke, trembling. For the first time in her life, she felt truly seen, and when she looked into his eyes, she knew she was home. From that night forward, Elira was no longer the forgotten human at the edge of the pack. She walked beside the Alpha King, not as a servant, not as an outsider, but as his chosen mate. The pups followed her everywhere, their bond unshakable. The pack, once doubtful, grew to respect her. They saw her strength, her gentleness, her courage. They saw how the Alpha's eyes softened when he looked at her, and how her love answered his without a single word. Elira found what she had longed for all her life, not just a place, but a purpose. Not just safety, but love. She was no longer invisible. She was cherished, needed. The fire had left scars on her skin, but it no longer haunted her. For from those flames had risen something greater, a bond forged not in fear, but in love. And beneath the moonlight, with the Alpha's hand in hers and the pup safe at her side, Elira no longer asked if she belonged, because now she knew she was his mate.